Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far, and welcome back to a very hectic time in the Valorant news world. So much to dive into today, reaction to the new 100 Thieves lineup, but also TSM versus T1 for the first time since their drama in the qualifiers. Certainly some fireworks hitting the timeline as a result of this one. Very much intriguing your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you are new as always, I'd greatly appreciate it. Loads of new subs the last few days, like 300 subs in the last 2 days. Let's keep that train rolling. First of all, this from the TSM side. Harmful is looking to join the starting lineup as from the TSM Academy front. Now, well, TSM have been kind of killing it the last few days. I believe they won the World Championship for Rainbow Six a couple of days ago, and now they're really trying to step up what they're doing in the Valorant side with their main roster and also their academy. Trying to take things way more serious. They haven't made a roster move with their main team. They've brought in a new coach right to both their main squad and their academy sides, and I mean, yeah, trying to play a lot of these online tournaments to improve as much as they possibly can. We'll see the fruits of their labor here in just a couple of seconds, but firstly, we've got to dive back into 100 Thieves, because wow, what a crazy roster change this was. Yesterday, of course, we talked about it yesterday. babybay, Eccles out of there, Bang and JC Starny into the team, and well, the implications of this are, of course, very widespread indeed. Now, well, some serious reaction to this. I mean, well, from Nature, he had a few words to say on the fact that, like, he wants to win it more than anybody in the entire world. That's what he's going to try and achieve with this roster. But yes, some people are not convinced at all this new team actually is going to be what it takes. I'll share a couple of clips for you guys right now. Firstly from Ethan, where he kind of explains why they brought in Bang and JC Starny, why those guys fit the roles they want to play quite well. Of course, with Hiko stepping off the Sova, they need someone to kind of fill in that role. And yeah, JC Starny filling the gaps as well. And also they have good communication that Ethan is, I guess, going to need as the new IGL for this 100 Thieves squad. Very interesting stuff. But after that, we also have some other perspectives. babybay is not convinced at all that there's any way they can upgrade from him, and that this new team is not going to be as good as they were when he was in the squad, and the potential that actually he had in that team. But also Sinatraa has a few words to say as well. Lots to talk about. Okay, could Sinatraa go to 100 Thieves? Is that an option they want to consider? Because look, if Nature wants to win 100%, a lot of people have said, look, Sinatraa is sitting there, right? Maybe one of the best players, if not the best player theoretically in North America, not with an opportunity on a team. Maybe 100 Thieves, it's time to bite the bullet and go down that route. And Sinatraa says, look, he reckons this new lineup with Bang and JC Starny, and I think understandably so, really does not have much more potential than the previous lineup, and it's not quite the star-studded team that, well, 100 Thieves are going to need to compete with the best of the best. And if anything, their team stayed the same or got worse.
Why Bang and JC Starny? Bang, sure, he's young and he has a lot of promise. He reminds me of Peter. So he also fit the role we needed, which was obviously really important. And then JC Starny, again, fit the role we needed. And he kind of had the characteristics I was looking for when I wanted a controller. He's really self-sufficient and his comms are really good. That's something I need as an IGO, especially a new IGO. It's really important.
I don't even know if they'll win. I don't know, because I feel like Bang and JC are not, like, you can't upgrade for me, first off. I'll be straight up. You can't upgrade for me. Like, I'm not even trying to be, like, egotistical about it. Like, I know, like, I'm the best at my role, and the only other person is, what, like, dapr? And, like...
I think I know, or I think 100 Thieves knows... I mean, that they're not, but I plus instead of FaZe after Turko, instead of FaZe after Mazen, instead of Prime. They just don't have, I mean, that roster wasn't like a world class, if that makes sense. 100 Thieves is a world class org, you know, like tier 1 org. They need world class players. I don't think that team was, but yeah, I don't think it is now either, so. Would they have Bang and JC Starny? I think it was just going to be the same problem. In my opinion, but I don't know. We'll see. Gambit, Liquid, Fnatic. Do you think this roster is going to do well? I actually can't see it. I couldn't see it with EC1S and babybay. I can't see it with JC Starny and Bang either.
So maybe 100 Thieves still can turn it around, right, going into these upcoming matches, but well, yeah, they're certainly going to need to turn things around very quickly indeed, because 0-2 in their current North American Challengers groups. They play 3 more games. LG, EG, and XSET, I believe, are the last 3 matches they play. They need to win at least 2 of those, if not all 3, to get themselves through to the playoffs, which, of course, well, is the 100% goal, right, because you need to get through all the way to even give yourself a chance to get to Masters and then to Champions, right, and of course, that's a massive deal. Now, well, as Hiko says, we have decided to do a last-minute boot camp starting tomorrow, that being today, with the new roster. We need to pack in stuff before practice. So yes, that's, I guess, what they're going to try and do to turn things around quickly with this new team. But yes, Sinatraa and others certainly not convinced this team is actually a massive step in the right direction, this new roster. But yeah, we'll see them in action very soon indeed this coming weekend. This also was discussed as well because, of course, Xander and Cryo. So Xander described how when they were both free agents, they kind of both wanted to join 100 Thieves. That's kind of where they wanted to end up. Like, 100 Thieves had the chance to do it, but I think at that point they'd already signed Eccles, so they didn't really want to go down that route. Xander, of course, ends up on version 1, has done great things over there, and Crow's on XN as well. So that could have been a team that 100 Thieves could have had if they didn't sign babybay and Eccles. They could have gone for the Hiko, Xander, Cryo, Ethan, and Asuna route, which would have been pretty spicy, would have been very interesting. Would it have been that much better than the iteration they currently have, or the iteration they had before? Maybe, well, it could have been, but still, would it have been a championship winner? That's another question, because a lot of people are still saying the core of the team might not be so ideal. Now, that's not where the spice and the drama on the timeline ended for the day, because in an online tournament that went down last night, that pretty much everyone was calling a Mickey Mouse tournament, which I kind of feel like it's almost disrespectful for the organizer. I don't know what you guys think about this. We'll see some, well, actually, point from like an amateur player discusses this in a second, but some frustrations really that some of these teams, the way they describe these tournaments, like these poor organizers are probably so happy they get these big name teams playing in their tournament for good practice and stuff like this online, and then the teams just completely flame the tournament as being an irrelevant Mickey Mouse, all this type of stuff. I guess at least they play in them, but I guess if you're a tournament organizer, you can't be too mad. Like, you still get the teams to play and you get all the good viewership for a game like this, but I mean, yeah, still, you get kind of roasted on the timeline from time to time about the importance of these tournaments in the long term. But still, TSM T1, we had a great matchup between these two when T1 got disqualified, right, for the help Suez thing back at the qualifier, for challenges which neither of the teams actually made it through, and TSM have really made a great attempt, it seems, the last couple of weeks to try and come back stronger. Like, well, changing up their culture, their practice, their regime, bringing in a new coach, trying to take this team to the level that they believe they can get to, and they win this series pretty comfortably, 2-0 over T1. Big storylines really as a result of this going into it, right, about the help Suez thing, and T1 looked like they were on course to beat them when they played at the qualifier, and seemingly TSM have improved an awful lot since then. Like, again, the firepower really on the side of T1 was kind of lacking. Like, it was expected, like, guys like Pony, 7, these would be the guys, like, holding down the fort. Steel, of course, isn't expected to put up crazy numbers, but, I mean, yeah, Croy was a bit of a monster right here, 13-8 on Icebox, the map where T1, I believe, were up, like, 6-1, 7-1 or something on the second game before things all went pretty haywire, and they got disqualified from the series, and then 13-11 on Haven, so pretty back and forth series. Definitely could have gone either way, but still, TSM on the whole looked like the comfortably better team, and as Subroza says, GG's well played 2-0 versus T1, 4 days of IGLing versus a decade of a PogChamp, right? So of course, Steel, he's been IGLing for, well, in the Counter-Strike days for a very long time indeed, and Subroza maybe has taken over that role very recently, seemingly, on the TSM front to try and take this team up one notch, and I believe he actually did say that a few days ago, roasting Steel as a result, right, about not getting the better of him, despite not being an IGL for this roster for all that long, and Steel actually says the following: had to secure you your spot on the team for the next year, felt bad, saw what happened to babybay and Eccles, didn't want the same to happen to you. Don't worry, go back to losing everything for the next year, I got you, no problem at all. So yeah, definitely some roast coming back and forth between these two teams, definitely some important practice for these guys going into some more important matches going forward, but always interesting to see how these teams are faring, especially because they then play FaZe in the next round, and well, they 2-0'd FaZe as well. One of the maps was this one, where Corey on the Jet was an absolute monster, like the Jet diff right here between Corey and babybay. Babybay was 3-15 on the Jet, Corey was 19-10, like he had a monster game, ACS out of control, and yeah, 13-3 here on Icebox, so really impressed with the improvements that TSM was showing. Corey on the Jet as well, that's something they probably need to keep because he was certainly killing it. TSM make it all the way to the grand finals, but yeah, there was some talk about the FaZe guys, right, because babybay says, okay, ready for the next Mickey Mouse tournament, let's go, because like a loss here isn't really the end of the world, these tournaments don't mean all that much, but there is something on the line. But yeah, some of the players weren't particularly happy about it. For example, this from Renz: I don't understand why top pros sit here and troll the lower tier tourneys and call them Mickey Mouse when there are players literally playing these to improve and go pro, and it means a lot to them. But these players are making 10k a month, just insulting them is gross to me, right? So kind of insulting these tourneys, but also by I guess extension, insulting the players playing in them, that of course these are a really big deal to some up and comers, but they kind of, well, get clowns right as a result of it. Now, I mean, yeah, kind of calling out some of the pro players right here, making 10k a month, just insulting them, and also there was some talk about some of the teams that, I mean, look, no names specifically were mentioned here by Neptune of the Rise Nation, but and maybe this is just a kind of a copy pasta type thing, but worth mentioning regardless. Imagine stealing a 20k per month paycheck, having coaches, analysts, facilities invested in your org to help you, and then still lose to guys that aren't even paid. That's the thing. Some of these online tourneys, some of these top teams, not really the case yet, because I mean, I guess T1, TSM, like FaZe, they lost to teams that are actually salary teams. Some organizations are losing to squads that, no one's ever heard of. And Neptune calling these guys out, I suppose, as Paycheck Stealers, and maybe, well, understandably so. So yeah, pretty spicy stuff. I'll definitely keep my eyes on this going forwards. No, if these guys were just at someone, that'd make it an awful lot easier. Not always how it goes, though. This is the final bracket from the YFP Winter Classic, where, as you can see on the lower side, it was pretty stacked. TSM took down T1, they then took down FaZe, and I mean, FaZe beat Run It Down before losing, and then babybay in the grand finals. TSM had a very close fought series with them. They beat them 2-1 to win the YFP Winter Classic. So interesting stuff. Definitely TSM's improvement seemingly has turned on its head the last few days. They even beat Gen.G here in the round of 16. So impressive performance and really impressive improvement, it seems, from the TSM guys as of late. And just to finish off with this, I thought it was fantastic. We looked at this yesterday from Zom's mother, where she was like, talking about, okay, what's going on here? They should make a team with Sinatraa, the new 100 Thieves guys. But yeah, bonus one, I never posted. I'm confused. Why did Sentinels tweet welcome coach Kaide? And joke, yes. And then he says no for the reply. So just basing his mum. What, Kaide is coaching you for champions? Thought Raucous was. But of course, it's from a while ago now. Still pretty funny. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit the like button. Tell us to YouTube gods, this is a good video. I just like you should see it as well. And I've grown the competitive Valorant community. Thank you as always. Take care. And I will see you next time.